Bruh.
Why are you even here?
What's up YouTube, Tenton here, and welcome back to my first death battle prediction in what, 2 months? It's been a while, but the show is finally back on track and I'm ready to get back into the swing of things. You know the drill at this point. Today I will be discussing the next time on Death Battle between Beerus from Dragon Ball Super and Sailor Galaxia from Sailor Moon. But as always, before we get on to that, let us discuss episode 129. Overall, Wonder Woman vs. She-Ra was an okay episode. It wasn't anything special, and was kind of a meh episode overall. The jokes were just okay, the research was fine, and I agree with the results, but man, that fight was dull. Such a boring fight. The kill was good, and I liked the Invisible Jet cameo, but wow. The fight was a stomp. I mean, the atom-slicing sword plus one of the highest speed stats of any death battle combatant equals She-Ra dying brutally. My issue here is that previous stomp episodes, while they were obvious they were stomps, were at least interesting and fun to watch, like Thor vs. Raiden. That was an interesting and unique fight. Yeah, it's pretty obvious Thor's gonna obliterate him, but it was still cool to see.
Away with you! Feel heaven's wrath! Farewell!
It was a rather obvious outcome and a pretty terrible mid-season finale, if I'm being honest. Plus, what a waste of a returning character slot. We get like 3 or so per season, and they decided to use one on Wonder Stripper, who had already been in the show twice before and had already gotten a win. Lastly, and yes, I know I'm beating a dead horse, but another DC character. They ended on a repeat DC character. Probably the worst fight out of the 10 they had that they could have decided to end the first half of the season with. Imagine if Machamp vs. Goro or Obi-Wan vs. Kakashi was in the 10th slot of this season. That would have left me with such a better taste in my mouth. In the long run, this episode is fine. It just sucked that this is what we were left with for 2 months. Moving on to the next time, my feelings on Galaxia being Beerus' opponent are mostly positive. Knowing Beerus was coming ahead of time brought on a lot of speculation, and I think Sailor Galaxia was the right choice. When it comes to death battle, Beerus' fights tend to go one of 2 ways. Beerus will either stomp effortlessly, or he will get stomped. Sailor Galaxia is not a character I'm super familiar with, but I've done my research, and I think this is probably the most interesting matchup Beerus had in his list of options. It also doesn't hurt that she's from a new franchise, which Season 7 has sorely been lacking. Beerus is an interesting pick for a Dragon Ball character, as he is hard to judge due to him never going all out. The most we have is that he claimed to be using 70% of his power when he fought God Goku, but that likely holds no weight since he said that in the movie before they had plans to do Dragon Ball Super, and Beerus has shown he drastically outclasses both Goku and Vegeta since then. Beerus, stat-wise, is up there with the best of them in Dragon Ball. His brother once punched a planet to death, and Beerus has casually blown up planets for centuries. There was also that time that he and Goku created shockwaves that shook the whole universe. Whis has also stated that Beerus could destroy a whole solar system, and Whis and his sister had to step in to stop Beerus from fighting his brother. According to them, if Beerus and Champa were to fight, they would destroy both Universe 6 and 7. Beerus is easily faster than light when compared to Dispo, who was straight up stated to move at light speed. Beerus also has an unmastered version of Ultra Instinct, which allows him to move without thinking. Beerus also apparently scales to some feat that Whis does that should put him at like 200 quintillion times the speed of light or some crap. which I personally think is absolute bullshit and not realistic at all, but I thought I'd bring it up. Durability is a bit harder to quantify, but Beerus at minimum should be able to tank planetary destruction, and maybe even blowing up a galaxy in his face. Moving on to abilities, Beerus has quite the long list of abilities, so let's get to it. He can fly. According to some of the games, he can resist mind control. He can manipulate his god key to create energy blasts and beams. He can cause paralysis in enemies. He can create duplicates of himself. He is 75 million years old, so he has plenty of experience, even if he has spent a lot of that time sleeping. He was trained in martial arts by Whis. And lastly, he knows the Hakai. This handy-dandy move allows Beerus to erase anything or any person he chooses, including ghosts, and even lesser gods like Zamasu. It not only kills the target, but it destroys their mind and soul. He literally deletes you from existence. However, the Hakai is not perfect, as Beerus still needs to be able to hit his opponent for it to work, and as seen with Vegeta's fight with Toppo, Hakai energy is less effective on individuals that are stronger than the user. That being said, Toppo was still new to the job and was less experienced when compared to Beerus, but Frieza has shown to be able to resist Hakai energy from another god of destruction. The Hakai, while powerful, is not perfect. Beerus effortlessly beat Super Saiyan 3 Goku. He's beaten Vegeta twice, once as a Super Saiyan 2 and once as a Super Saiyan Blue. He beat Majin Buu, Piccolo, Gohan, Android 18, Tien, and Gotenks all at once. He scared Golden Frieza half to death upon seeing him, and he was able to spar with multiple other gods of destruction at once. Beerus does have his fair share of weaknesses though. He's lazy to a fault, he is arrogant, cocky, hot-headed, and when he gets pissed off, he can be consumed by his bloodlust and lose control. Also, if the Supreme Kai dies, Beerus will die as well. Moving on to Galaxia, she, according to the numbers I've found, can casually destroy planets and stars. In one of her fights, she casually destroys multiple planets and stars by complete accident. She can fight and fly across galaxies in seconds, putting her well over the speed of light. She, like Beerus, is a little harder to quantify in defense, but she has fought other solar system level threats like Eternal Sailor Moon, and she should at worst be able to survive any attack she could replicate, so at worst she should be able to take a galaxy blowing up in her face. Ability-wise, she can fly, survive without oxygen, she has a sword, a whip, she can shoot energy blasts and beams, she can shoot fireballs, lightning, black lightning, she can read minds, use telekinesis, control cosmic energy, create force fields, create illusions. She has a super form that makes her more powerful because why not? She can merge with chaos to further increase her power, she has millions of years of experience, and she can manipulate concepts of her universe. Like, actual concepts of the universe and reality. She could literally make 2 + 2 = fish. She is one of the strongest star seeds in her universe, and she can casually destroy other star seed users. A star seed, by the way, is what gives her her powers, and it's also a concept of reality or something like that. I'm not super familiar with Sailor Moon, so take what I say about the star seeds with a grain of salt. She in the manga killed Sailor Mars and Sailor Venus. She has also defeated Sailor Moon in combat before. And her only real weakness is that if she loses faith in her own conviction or her star seed is destroyed, she will die. Well, that, and she's also very cocky and overconfident, but I mean, when you're a goddess, I mean, it kind of comes with the territory. When comparing them directly, stats-wise, it's close enough. But when looking at their abilities, it comes out pretty clear-cut in Galaxia's favor. She has more history than Beerus, she is more versatile when compared to him. She also, one time resisted being erased from existence, and she has an erasure move of her own. The Hakai has already shown to have a shaky history, and Galaxia could literally just tell her body not to be erased. That sounds really dumb, but it's a thing she can do. She could also likely read Beerus' mind to learn about the Supreme Kai and kill him. I doubt Death Battle would do that, but it is something I figured I'd mention. Though Beerus has no way to stop Galaxia from simply erasing him. Hakai isn't an instant kill anyway, and Beerus' brother was erased by Zeno, so Beerus likely has no resistance to any type of erasure attack, especially from someone who is stronger than him. Overall, this fight is closer than I expected, but I think Galaxia takes it. But what do you guys think? Are you rooting for Beerus, or are you backing Galaxia like myself? Let's start off the second half of Season 7 with a bang. Well, that's all I got. This has been Tenton. Peace.